So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another episode of Is It That Bad, where we take a look at an album that maybe got bad reviews, or maybe it's a newer album that we don't know. In this case, this album came out just a few days ago on September the 20th. And I didn't know she had a music career, but apparently she does. We're talking about Kat Von D, which a lot of people might know because she was on a program called Miami Ink and the LA Ink, and she also dated Nikki Sixx. So,
Oh,
like
that makes
me and
sense.
JC. Yeah, yeah. And somewhere Bruce Dickinson is going, Nikki,
Oh,
what
is
are
that
you?
who he wrote Tattooed Millionaire about?
Yes, he
Yeah.
was like, Nikki, what are you doing to my
No,
wife?
isn't that song like, man, I'm more mad that you have such low standards.
For Nikki, or because
For Cat Dawn T.
yeah, I don't are you asking me if I like Kat
Hmm.
Von D?
No, I'm saying that song is to her. He's saying, you cheated on me with him. You could do so much better.
No, that song is not about Kat Von D. That song was in
Oh, okay.
1990.
Then I was thinking
She
of
was
someone else.
she was probably a baby.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
42 years old now. Well, no, it was a song about Bruce Dickinson's wife. But the connection is that Nikki Sixx also dated he dated Kat Von D, and he had sex with Bruce Dickinson's wife. So go
Yes.
figure. So this is the album. It's called My Side of the Mountain. Apparently, I think it's her second album.
Yes.
So yeah, it's I gotta say it's a cool album artwork. I don't know if she doesn't want no one to see her face because she's ashamed or whatever, but yeah, this is an interesting one to talk to. So you know the rules, people. We have the first round for give our first impressions. That we have the second round where we pick three tracks that maybe we think are not the strongest, and we say why. And the third and final round where we give a vote, thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down, and we give our final impression. So, yeah, let's do Rock of All Ages, JC, Nick, and then me. So, Rock of All Ages, your first impressions listening to Cat Von D, My Side of the Mountain.
This is the first episode I've done where I have never heard a single song from the artist. I went in completely blind. I didn't even know anything about Kat Von D as a person. Turns out I should have kept it that way. It's usually a bad sign when a person's Wikipedia page has a section called controversies. And it's a terrible sign when, after reading that, I can say with confidence that defending Marilyn Manson from his allegations is not the worst thing she's ever done. However, if we're just talking about the music, this album was actually a pleasant surprise. I didn't know what I was expecting, but it was not a synthwave album. I will have more to say in the other rounds, but yeah,
Nice,
I kind of dug this, not gonna lie.
nice. So, what about you, JC?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about her. I've like heard the name before. I've never watched any of those like ink shows or anything. But I read some ups I read up a little on her, and I think I was expecting like more of a rock album. I think like with her image, I think I was expecting something along the lines of like a Motley Crue type of sound. But I didn't.
And the
Yeah, I
cover.
guess that's just. I think like because of her image. I think I was expecting like a Lita Ford, like that type of thing. But no, it's different. It's electronic. It's pop. It's very it's dark goth. So there's some stuff here which I thought it was okay, but it's kind of different. I think I listened to it actually twice, and the second time around, I think I liked it like a little better than the first time. But it wasn't really what I was expecting. But I think it's the type of album that kind of like might have potential if I listen to it a little more. But I'll get into that in the next few rounds. But it just
Nice.
wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I wasn't super familiar with Kat Von D. Again, I'm the same as everybody else. I know her reputation for being a tattoo artist and obviously having a lot of tattoos on her as well. And I didn't know she was a musician, didn't know she was a singer, but I did read a little bit about her career on Spotify, and it said she kind of grew up as a musician or at least playing instruments, and this has been another side of her career that she's always wanted to explore. So she's releasing music now, and I'm kind of with you guys that it wasn't completely awful. I did think this was a decent album that had some good production, some decent songwriting as well. Like we've listened to our fair share of bad albums on this series. And this one definitely didn't really reach the level of bad that some of those other ones have in the past, and very much in the vein of like JC was saying, like kind of gothic and a little bit of 80s retro, a little bit of Depeche Mode mixed with maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
Lady Gaga in there as well. And I didn't
Yeah.
think this was that bad. So, in general, I was pleasantly surprised that Kat Von D is more than just the tattoos.
Yeah. So for me, I went in blind as well. I never listened to any of her music. I did see her in LA Inc. and Miami Inc. And personally, I don't like her that much. As she seems like kind of douchey sometimes. As a person, I don't know. But I saw those episodes, and she seems to be. She's a great tattoo artist. I gotta give her that. I've seen tattoos that she's done, and she's really good with portraits and stuff. I knew she dated Nikki Six because, but I also read that Spotify thing, and it said like from when I was like 5 to 10, I played piano from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I call bullshit.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm not that sure that she did. I'm like, it sounds like, did you really, Kat Bundy? I'm not that sure. But I was also I didn't hate this record. I don't think I'm not running to play it every time, but I did think there's some interesting stuff in it and some stuff that is not so interesting. So yeah, it's but compared to some other things that we listen to, there's some I was thinking that this was like it was Lady Gaga, but the Wish version, a lesser
Ah.
Lady Gaga. But
Mm.
there's some entertaining parts, so we're going to talk more about that on round two. So, uh, uh, Rock of All Ages, which three tracks did you think were the weakest on this one?
I'm in a similar situation to when we did Living Things by Linkin Park, because two of these three songs I thought were not bad. Uh, I had Running Away and Dead, which again I thought were not bad. Although it was kind of weird how Dead, the opening track, goes. It kind of sounds like she's saying daddy. Like it's dead E, dead E. It sounds like she's saying daddy in the intro. I thought that was weird. Um, the worst song on the album was I Am a Machine, featuring arch enemy singer Alyssa White Gluz. I don't know why Alyssa's on here. Not just because her growls don't really fit with the song, which is otherwise, again, not bad, but also Alyssa's grandparents, according to her Wikipedia page, her grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and Kat Von D, well, read her Wikipedia page. But yeah, that was what I had for least favorite tracks.
Cat Bundy's Mexican.
Well, hey, weirder
Yeah.
combinations have happened.
Like, what the hell? Is she going to be a racist to herself? That makes no sense. But yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah.
So those two tracks you thought were
Well,
the
three. I had Running Away, Dead, and I'm a Machine.
okay, nice. So yeah, so yeah, I've learned something about her. I didn't know, but so what about you, JC? Which three tracks did you pick?
Okay. I picked track number 8, Running Away. I thought it was just the problem with it. It was kind of boring and it didn't go anywhere. But otherwise, I thought like it had potential of being a good song, but it just kind of like went on and didn't like have any changes in the song. I felt it was just boring. And then after that, I'm gonna pick like the last two, which are cover songs. Track 11, Porti. It's a Mexican song. I'm familiar with the original. I think it's been covered many times.
I
I don't
didn't know
know
that was a
who.
cover. That was
I
my
didn't know
favorite
it
song
was a
again.
cover, but it sounded to me like a Mexican soap opera type of song.
Yeah, it's a traditional Mexican song.
Uh,
I don't. I know like a couple artists have done it. I think the original was Oscar Chavez, but I don't know. I mean, I know I've because I live in Mexico. I've heard the song in parties and just on
mm.
the streets and wherever. So it's a popular song, but I think it's just like I don't know. It's just not a good version. I've heard a better version. So and then the last track, All by Myself. It's a cover song, which is okay, but it's really short. Like I feel like it
Was
just like cuts
is
off.
that a Celine Dion cover?
Well, originally it was by this guy Eric Carmen, and then Celine Dion did her version of it.
I know the
Oh yeah,
Celine
Eric
Dion
Carr. Yeah,
version.
yeah. But it was just very short. Like I felt it cut off, and then it's just like it's only like a minute long. So I think like she probably should have done a full version of it. Yeah,
Maybe she doesn't have the chops to sing that.
Probably not. Even Celine
yeah. So
Dion
that
right now probably doesn't have the chops, but that's for like health reasons, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, so interesting tracks, JC. What about you, Nick?
For me, I would say "Dead" is one of my least favorite songs on this record, and I guess that sucks because that's the first song on the record, so it doesn't really make a good first impression. But the thing I was listening, that kept come across my mind when I was listening to this, like, who is this for? Like, who is a Kat Von D music fan? Who is going to listen to this and be like, this is my favorite album of the year? Like, obviously, she's very talented as a tattoo artist and as a general just a personality, as somebody who's really interesting, but not musically, at least not on this song.
Wait,
um
Nick, are you telling me you weren't in the line to buy this?
well, maybe, I don't know.
Oh.
I can't admit that on camera.
You're like, Kat Von D, por ti, I
Fourteen.
buy this record.
Also, Truth in Reverse sounded like Lady Gaga mixed with Rammstein, but not in a good way. There was a lot of like genre mashing up on this record that didn't
That's
really
my
make a
favorite
lot of
song on the
sense.
record.
Really? I figured,
Yes.
well, a little bit of Rammstein in there makes sense. It's a little more metal than the other ones.
Yeah.
And then I Am the Machine also. Yeah, I didn't like that one either. It sounded like a bad song from the Matrix soundtrack. Like, I feel like I should have been on some sort of high or some sort of drug, or at least some better drugs to listen to this song. But to me that was just like, oh my God. And again, I was listening to this at work, so it's like it's always a little interesting listening to this stuff at
You've
work.
listened to worse stuff at work.
Yeah, exactly. If people could listen to what's going on in my headphones while I'm doing my work, they'd be shocked and appalled.
So yeah, nice pick. So that leaves me. So a track, no one has picked this track, but I think it's lame as hell. Vampire Love. I'm
Oh, that's
like,
one of my favorites.
you're 42 years old. It's like Vampire Love. Come bite me. I don't know if she says come bite me, but I thought it was, yeah, I don't know. It's like, is this an Olivia Rodrigo ripoff? Like
Probably not.
yeah.
if this was like a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old writing this, you're like, yeah, but you're a 40-year-old woman uh, talking about vampire love. I don't know. I thought the lyrics are atrocious, and I thought it was bad as hell. Uh, Another track I'm
The
picking is
truck.
it's Por Ti. I didn't know it was a cover, but I just thought that it was so dramatic. He's like, Por ti, moriré, viviré. And I felt like I'm like, this sounds like it's like Rosa del Monte, or it's like starring Kat Von D. It was really bad. I didn't all by myself. I just thought it's so short, so I'm not gonna pick that one. So the other track that I'm picking is the first one, Dead,
Yeah.
because it was like so weird. Like it's like so it was like a weird clunky type of song. And I have a questions for everyone. There's a song called Interlude 2.
Yeah.
There's not an interlude one. What the fuck?
I was wondering if maybe Dead was an interlude because it is similarly short.
Yeah, but like
Oh
if
no,
you
hold on. On her first album, Love Made Me Do It, there's interlude.
Oh, okay.
ah
So there we
Good
go.
catch.
good
Yeah.
catch. You know what? I didn't give a fuck to research that, man.
Well, I just had Spotify open. I'm like, let me look at the first album. Maybe this is
Neither
good.
of those albums have Wikipedia pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you like usually when you do an interlude, you put it like interlude. Like if you don't know, like why is it interlude two? Uh, which it's like a dance track that doesn't do anything. But yeah, I think Dead, Vampire Love, which I think is like if like Olivia Rodrigo had written this, it would be better. And yeah, and Por Ti, I didn't know it was a cover, but I just thought it was kind of lame. So those are my free picks. So everyone has picked a few songs in common, a few in different. So I want to see how the vote goes. So Rock of All Ages, your last impressions of this album, and what are you gonna rate it?
Hector, you picked two of my favorite songs in your three worst, Porty and Vampire Love.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, did I offend your inner
no, no,
14-year-old?
no.
Like, no, how dare you? I love vampires.
I feel like this is similar to when we did Linkin Park and you were like, you picked Burn It Down, that's the best one.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, yeah, that
so
is the best one on that one.
yeah. So like I'm saying that as like, okay, I get it now. Um, I did also like Illusion. That was another favorite.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what would you say? Final thoughts and your vote on this?
Kat Von D as a person, I give a thumbs down. This album I did surprisingly enjoy. I will give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, folks, we don't care about her as a person here. It's just the music. Like she could be a terrible human being unless she done like something really really bad. But I'm going to Wikipedia now. I want to find out more about her controversies. So what about you, JC?
I think it's I think like after the first listen, I probably would have went thumbs down, but I think there might be some stuff here that I might go back to. I think it might be a grower. Like I think there's some stuff here. I think it kind of reminds me of it's like very goth, very like new wave. Yeah, you all mentioned Lady Gaga before. I actually put that in my notes in one of the songs that kind of reminds me of Lady Gaga. Also reminds me of like Madonna's Ray of Light, like that
Oh, that's a
album.
great album.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of the thing that can kind of grow on me, and I kind of like that dark wave, like synth stuff. It's just one of the type of music that I like to like throw on every now and then, if I'm not listening to rock or metal. So I want to go sideways, but I think it has like some potential to maybe go up. But for now, it's a sideways for me. Yeah,
We have a thumbs up, and a thumb
that's
sideways.
no it's sideways.
No,
It's a
no, but a
sideways, not
thumbs.
enough.
Yeah, I'm like Rock of
Oh,
Ages.
yeah,
He gave it a thumbs up. So,
he gave it
what
a
about
yeah.
you? What about you, Nick?
Yeah, this wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like when you initially told us that we were going to be listening to this album, I thought it was going to be like a disaster akin to some of the other records that we listened to in this series. But it actually wasn't. It wasn't too bad. There was some redeeming qualities about it. Some good songwriting, some decent production. Her voice is okay. It's not that bad. She does have some personality to her voice as well when she gets down into those lower registers. She has a really interesting kind of tone to her voice on some of these songs as well. So it wasn't a complete disaster for me, and it's not really a record I would listen to again. But it wasn't something that I was just tossing my headphones off because I didn't want to listen to it. So I'll give it a thumb sideways.
Nice. Were you dancing to it on like Nick? You imagine people were walking by Nick, and Nick is like,
Well, it's like I have to enjoy the music, right? I have to go with the flow. Even if there are people around. still
Yeah.
have to express
Because
myself.
I work from home, so it doesn't matter. I could be dancing like Buffalo Bill and no one would watch me. I'll be like, "Ooh,
Goodbye, horses.
I'm coming over you." So, so to me, this album was actually, I don't think it's that bad. It's not great. It's not something that I would go back to, but my favorite track on this record was Set Myself on Fire, which
Mm,
features someone called the Feras. That one had like a Depeche Mode
Yeah.
vibe to it. But it was better because of the guest vocalist. And I actually the other track that the two tracks that I enjoyed the most was Truth in Reverse, uh, which I don't know why. I think there's a Marilyn Manson song that is titled like similar to that one because I'm like, there's a Marilyn Manson song somewhere I think it's like the same title. And yeah, and I thought songs like With You, she's 42, she's writing about like something that Olivia Rodrigo would write, like, ooh, boo, hoo, I can't be with you. I'll write on my Hello Kitty diary. But her voice, it's okay. For what, that's why I think All by Myself goes short because she can, that song where she goes all by and the scream that's
anymore.
yeah, I don't think she can do it. And the interesting thing is with her voice, like how much like trickery production are they
Uh,
doing to her voice to sound better?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I haven't heard her live, and this is a goth electronic dance type of record, like dark. But I read some of the reviews, and some people were praising like, oh, such great lyrics, and I thought the lyrics weren't that great. Uh, I think the most thing I like about this was the production, the synth vibe, those songs, they were danceable. So yes, I was like this, going like this.
you know what? I imagine if you put this on at like a Halloween club dance night,
Mhm.
it would probably go crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought of this, like a party, but I didn't when I saw that I didn't know what to expect. I saw the cover and I thought it was gonna be like more like glam and rock and maybe some industrial.
Yeah.
So I expected something else. So I'm like, okay, this is not what I thought I was going to hear. So, but yeah, I haven't voted yet. Sideways. To me, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not something
Um,
that I would go back to. But there's a few tracks here that I would listen to again. So yeah, so we've actually saved this record. Kat Von D, My Side of the Mountain, is not that bad. Controversies with her aside. Uh,
if you want a great version of this, listen to Churches.
I love that band. I was
Yes,
going to Churches. That's a great band.
yes.
Uh, my favorite album from them, even though it's the more popular one, is the one that came out in 2018.
Love is
And
Dead.
actually,
Yeah.
I was listening. I love the track "Never Say Die." Yeah,
That's a,
if you,
that's an okay one. Not my favorite from the
yeah,
album, but I've
yeah,
seen them twice. They are amazing. I love them.
yeah.
I'm wearing their shirt right now.
Yeah, that is
Nice.
love is not dead. That is better music than this one. Yeah, and
Yes.
obviously, yeah. So I would agree. So, yeah, coming up next week on Is It That Bad? We're talking about the new Coldplay, which I think is called Moon Music.
Yeah.
Uh, so that will be interesting. So I don't know who's going to be joining me on that one because I'm going to do it on a Friday. And I think, yeah, and I think Chile is doing that one and other people. So yeah, we'll do that one. It should be interesting. So we want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Kat Von D? Uh, music and also yeah throw some shading. What do you think of her as a person? throw it in there. What if do you like some tracks? Did you know she had a music career? Because I'm sure a lot of people were like, what? I'm like, isn't she like a tattoo artist? So yeah, comment down below and please subscribe to my friend's channel. You have Rock of All Ages. He does like a podcast type of feel.
Mhm.
Subscribe to him. JC Rock and Metal reviews if you want. The rankings, the history. He'll give it to you. So subscribe to the channel. And finally, Nick Zeno. You know, if you like to rock out and find about bands, he does album reviews as well and some covers. And he has a band. Like I didn't mention the band last time. Well, Fool's Union
Yep.
opening for Imagine Dragons in
Very soon.
2025.
Yeah. Or Kat Von D. We'll take either one. Give us
Nick, if you need a keyboardist, let me know.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And if you need like if it's like a ska band and you need a dancer, I'll be like
Goodbye, horses.
I'll be dancing throughout the set. And the people are like, what do you do in the band? I interpret the music and dance.
I love
That will
it.
be my
I love it already.
position. Yeah. And finally, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you know, the year is almost at an end. So I have more a few more. I have album reviews. Usually I'll review albums until like the first week of December, because after that I focus on my top 25 and bad albums and stuff like that. And for next year, I want to do finally that series that I've been talking about, like Should Have Been Bigger, where we'll talk about a band that maybe wasn't as big. So I want to do that series for next year to have, and as well with the Is It That Bad? So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and we'll see you next time on another Stick Back. Thank you and goodbye.